There is a piece by this website called Axios, Axios. And they point out a number of things that the Republicans are concerned about, that if the Democrats take the House, what's going to happen. And you really need to listen to this. So they obtained a spreadsheet, they write, that's circulated through Republican circles on and off Capitol Hill, including at least one leadership office, that meticulously previews the investigations Democrats will likely launch if they flip the House. Now, I can assure you this document the Republicans put together, which was leaked by one of these Republicans to the media, will now be used by the Democrats as their actual list. So here's what the Democrats plan, the Republicans believe. President Trump's tax returns. This is what you're going to get if you don't vote. Trump family businesses and whether they comply with the Constitution's emoluments clause, including the Chinese trademark grant to the Trump Organization. These are all phony, but it doesn't matter. They take up time. Trump's dealings with Russia, including the president's preparation for his meeting with Vladimir Putin. The payment to Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels. James Comey's firing. Trump's firing of U.S. attorneys. Oh, I see. Republicans aren't allowed to remove Democrat U.S. attorneys yet. Trump's proposed transgender ban for the military. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin's business dealings. White House staff's personal email use. Cabinet Secretary travel, office expenses, and other supposedly misused perks. Discussion of classified information at Mar-a-Lago. Jared Kushner's ethics law compliance. Dismissal of members of the EPA board and scientific counselors. The travel ban. Family separation policy. Hurricane response in Puerto Rico. Election security and hacking attempts. White House security clearances. The spreadsheet catalogs more than 100 formal requests from House Democrats, this Congress, spanning nearly every committee. Includes requests for administration officials to be grilled by committee staff, requests for hearings to obtain sworn testimony, efforts to seize communications about controversial policies and personnel decisions, and subpoena threats. These demands would turn the Trump White House into a 24/7 legal defense operation. Now, is this what you want out of your government? These sort of kamikaze tactics? Because they're coming if the Democrats win the House of Representatives. And notice that they don't give a damn about actually governing either. It's all about power. They have the mentality of the average thug in Venezuela or Cuba or you name it. Power at all costs. And the media will back them every step of the way because they're one and the same ideologically. We had a great show Sunday night. We had a great show. And two young ladies. And they made some great points about this, too. College campuses, academia, in the media, and so forth. Candace Owens, Katie Pavlich. I hope you caught it. But this is what's going to go on. So if they don't muster the votes to impeach Trump, should they win a majority in the House, or if they decide rather than impeach Trump, let's keep that impeachment hanging over his head while at the same time really just slamming him day in, day out, day in and day out, and weaken him for the next election. This is what the Democrats do when Republicans win. There's not a Republican who's won the presidency that the Democrats haven't tried to take out. I want you to think about that. They succeeded with Nixon. They tried to take out Reagan on Iran-Contra. They tried to take out George W. Bush from day one, claiming he was an illegitimate president, you may recall, because he won the Electoral College but didn't win the popular vote. And then they went after him over the Iraq War, that he lied about intelligence. One after another after another. Mark, what about Bill Clinton? Well, Bill Clinton was later held in contempt by a federal judge. That's how serious his offense was. And his offenses occurred while he was in office. Paula Jones brought a civil suit. But Clinton's criminal activity, perjury, suborning perjury, and so forth, obstruction, that all occurred in the course of the civil suit. And his conduct in the Oval Office with Lewinsky, again, occurred while he was President of the United States. These weren't presidential prerogatives. The president firing James Comey is a presidential prerogative. No prosecutor has a right to ask the president about it. As a matter of fact, no member of Congress has any power to ask a president about it. It is an actual power that a president must have to appoint people and to fire people. That's what's meant by a presidential prerogative. And the president has to protect that prerogative against all comers in order to protect that office for the next president. The one after that, ad infinitum. So these comparisons, I saw one of my favorite sites, The Federalist, a gentleman there trying to make a comparison with Clinton. There is no comparison with Clinton, none whatsoever, even though the Democrats and the media try to do it. There's no comparison. And also you have within the federal government these these public officials using their public office, even before Trump was elected president and subsequent to his election. Law enforcement, intelligence, trying to destroy him, his family, his staff, trying to prevent him from becoming president of the United States, and as president, trying to prevent him from actually being able to be president of the United States. Has anybody ever seen that before? It's like the Southern District of New York with their cockamamie campaign charges. I'm asking for a list of candidates who've ever been criminally charged and successfully tried on these counts that Michael Cohen pled guilty to. Who are they? There aren't any. There aren't any. By the way, Florida, this is the eve before Election Day tomorrow for your Republican primary for governor. I cannot more strongly encourage you to get out and vote for DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is the real deal. Putnam pretends that DeSantis is a creation of Washington. Putnam has spent almost his entire professional career in Washington. He went back to Florida to run for Secretary of Agriculture. He's got all big sugar behind him. He's run $1 zillion in ads trying to trash DeSantis. DeSantis served his country in 2 theaters. He's not a creation of Washington. He went to Washington to try and change it as others did. And he is a patriot, and I hope, because I have a property in Florida too. I have family in Florida, my parents, but even more than that, he's a great guy, and you have a wonderful opportunity to have an outstanding nominee to take on the Democrat in the general election for governor. A lot of us don't have those choices. So I'm going to strongly encourage you, if you're listening to me in all the towns across Florida, please don't expect somebody else to vote and carry the water for you. We cannot have a minimal turnout of conservatives, constitutionalists, capitalists. You don't turn out because you just figure that it's going to be the right result. No. It's like in the congressional election. That's up to us to prevent the impeachment of the president by making sure the Democrats don't take the House. Well, in Florida, it's up to you to pick the best of the men who's running. And it's hands down Ron DeSantis, who I've strongly endorsed. I hope you don't forget to vote tomorrow. We'll be right back.